Sensitivity is intelligence. With grace and skill, you have abundance. Welcome to the Psychic Hour. Host Kelly Brickle is a psychic medium healer, numerologist, and teacher. Her passions are learning about the soul and energy. Whether it's through spirit, emotion, or vibrational numbers, there's always a pathway of information waiting to help. Now, here is your host of the Psychic Hour, Kelly Brickle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Psychic Hour on WLTK-DB, Let's Talk Radio. Today is the reading show today. So dive on in if you have any questions, if you have any comments about psychic mediumship, or if you want your numbers read or a couple card pulls, this is the place to do it. All right. So what I want to encourage everyone to kind of consider is, hey, Casey, hello, yes. I love the enthusiasm already. She's just like, yep, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Hi, Casey. We always have a topic beforehand, and it kind of opens up the energy to go into readings. And I wanted the topic to be about like abundance, and also just when we have, I guess, excess too. Hello, Jessie Cat. Hello. It's important to talk about balance and the many forms that balance comes in, and we always want abundance. And I think, Thanksgiving helps us to, be thankful for what we have or to celebrate the abundance, right? And those are for like the American people, or even Canadian Thanksgiving, individuals in Canada, right? The different countries don't always celebrate Thanksgiving, but I think there's like forms of it in various places of the world. But in America, we celebrate Thanksgiving, and it has a history, but the modern celebration is with family and friends, and celebrating like good food and time and connection with one another. And there's a lot of cooking. So I think it's definitely known when you have too much food in your belly, you kind of reach this food coma, right? This comatose. And energetically, I think the majority of individuals, and even if there has been a lot of struggles, I guess, with one's life, with even manifesting what one wants in one's life, there is an excess of energy and things around us. And we talk about it a lot of, what do we really need? What do we really need to be happy? What do we really need around us to support us on our journey? And even just like clearing out the old energy to usher in the new energy, because sometimes we're blocked and we go, well, I'm doing all these things, and you'd be surprised how old energy, even in pockets you just don't consider, still is like weighing you down, or it can encumber. So it's really important to have peace of mind and clarity of mind to start to tackle these things, because we can understand I really gotta clear things out, or I really gotta organize, or it would be nice, but I'm tired, or I don't have the time, and those can be factors, don't get me wrong, but it's actually a luxury, and it's actually abundance if you're giving yourself time to go, okay, what really do I want to manifest that's around me? And let me be grateful for the things that, I do really want to need. And the other things, I'm ready to say goodbye to, or I'm ready to share with others that need this abundance. And it could be literally like papers. It could be, old stuffed animals. It could be, it could literally be something that's really expensive in the house, but you no longer use it. Or it could be things within your job, or even within friendships. What abundance would I like to rather have instead? And so I'm going to beautifully just let this go. And we need to have a place within our lives where we do stop and think, because the luxury a lot of people think of abundance is like money, and if I have more and I can have more options. And we talked about this a lot, that we're really in the age of awareness and focus. And focus is the new currency. So it's like not, not going to an experience with 40 different options, but going to experience with even one option, because all the time and energy is going to be on that one option, and you can manifest that abundantly, truly, rather than a little here, a little there, a little. That's fun, that's great, but if you are at kind of ahead with yourself of, gosh, it's not working or it really has to change, then right, there has to be that hyper focus, there has to be that slowing down. And I think, like, we definitely know the feeling when we have a little bit too much. We have the feeling when we're a little bit overwhelmed. And I think a lot of people are feeling that with anxiety or depression, or just like they're carrying too much. So it's not just the physicality of it, it's the emotional weight. Like, what do you have to clear within your life? What do you have to clear so spiritually you can feel more free? Mentally, you can feel more free. Like, on every single level, things will feel more weighted and complicated and even scattered if things are not attended to. And the luxury of time, like, think about it, not for real, like the luxury of time. We're only on earth for, you know, around 80 years, possibly much more, maybe much less. We don't know what hand that, life gives us. And it's like, we really do have this luxury of time, but it's limited, right? And so we can really be in the moment with it and create, and it's a wonderful thing, but it's so finite. It's so finite. You can almost argue, I would argue, that time is more precious than gold. Time is more precious than currency. So it's like, if you are going through every day feeling overwhelmed or not happy with what's in front of you, or scattered, maybe you're really grateful, you're just scattered. Um, I would just take into account the gratitude of time and say, I'm going to give some time to myself, purely to my thoughts, my emotions, my spirit, or purely to the environment that I most intimately spend my time with, whether it's your house, whether it's a place that you go often. And I'm going to try to work with that for the better. Now, when you give yourself time and you're maximizing time, you really have to look at your own energy, not maybe the most closest people to you or the environments that you share first. No, 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 because you can't really maximize that time. If you're starting from blank slate, if you're starting from the beginning, or like, you're shaking the etchy sketch of life, you really have to go, no, I have to account for what's going on around me and how I influence things around me. And I can't put more variables into the mix, because that will just get things more complicated. I kind of can't control how people are reacting or feeling about some choices that I make. I have to put myself in an environment where it's just me. It's just me, so I can breathe and I can account for what makes sense to me and what doesn't. And you really need that neutral stripping away. You really need to understand, what's you. And, our anxiety isn't us. Our depression isn't us. Our cluttered house isn't us. Our cluttered mind isn't us. It's not. It's just a result of what's going on inside of us sometimes. And if we deal with what's going on inside of us, we have a far, far much better chance at understanding the situation and actually having a relationship with the situation. A lot of the uncomfortable feelings comes from disconnect. I'm uncomfortable with the situation. I don't want to deal with this situation. But when we have a relationship with the situation, or a relationship with the energy, suddenly it doesn't become as scary. Sometimes suddenly it doesn't come as complicated. Suddenly it doesn't become as overwhelming. It's like, okay, maybe initially, but wow, there's a whole relationship to be had. Thus, now I have options and it's not just a brick wall. I just want to put that out there. So strip things away. We have a cornucopia of things for Thanksgiving. Strip away what is around you to really highlight your abundance and to really maximize how you go about with the vibration of abundance. You know, really call within yourself, what do I need? What do I need? And you do have to give yourself the luxury of time, focus, and attention to achieve that. It can't be a guessing game. It can't be like, well, if you ask me, I guess I would like this. If you ask me, I've always want that. That's just the surface. That's just the surface. And that's just sometimes a symptom. It's not the cure. It's not the cure. So that's my advice. The road to being less overwhelmed is giving yourself the luxury of time, the luxury of meeting yourself, the luxury of having a relationship with yourself. And everything around you, how you coordinate and set your course going forward, becomes a little bit more manageable because you have to be in touch with the map. You have to be in touch with your North Star, or you're going to get lost where you're going. The roads are going to be a little more rockier. The roads are going to be a little bit more confusing. Get in touch with your map, get in touch with your North Star. So let's go into readings. All right. So Casey, she wanted a reading. We got Jessica and Kevin here, and One. I hope I'm saying that right. One. And we got Sylvia. So everybody who would like to have a reading, you can request a numerology reading or a card reading. And also you can ask for a general reading or a specific reading. The specific reading can be like, hey, I'd like to look into this area of my life. And so we take one question's Ane. Thank you, Ane. It's nice to meet you. And we focus on one area and then we see naturally what energy opens up from that. Okay. And so that's how we do it. Grabbing some paper. All right. So Casey, if you would like to go first, let me know what type of reading you'd like, or I'm just going to do a general reading. Okay. I'm going to pull out some cards I have. It's funny, like spirit always guides you to how things will go. You don't know exactly why sometimes, but they will. And so the cards that are right in front of me today are one of the angel decks I have. Okay. My own cards are to the right of me, but they're not accessible, so I honor that. I mean, they are, but they're a bit tucked away. So there's a reason that these cards are right in front of me. Okay. Let's see. So Casey is asking for a general. Cool. And so we'll take a little bit of the numerology. Doing the numbers. Attitude 7, personal day. Excuse me, attitude 9. Attitude 9, personal day 7. And we have a life path 9 as well. Double checking the math. Okay, that's right. That's right. Yep. Okay. So just making sure I got the first one. I always double check because I get into the groove of the energy. Oh, where on earth? I just saw your numbers. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this is for 11/25/1989. And so the first thing that I see with these numbers is that the individual or yourself, because I don't know if this is for you or a different individual, very, very connected to people, very, very sensitive with what other people's needs are. Um, when you see a double nine in the attitude placement and the life path, I talk about this. Usually a very difficult childhood because the nine is this natural humanitarian number who is just very selfless at the core. So from a young age, you just kind of assume what needs to be done. And it makes you a very self-sufficient individual, and it's like you kind of have to be that way to survive because parents are like busy or they're not paying attention, and so you're the one that kind of takes on a lot of responsibilities. And so 9 has to deal with forgiveness a lot. It really does, because other people don't see things as compassionately or as clearly. Nines are natural with, okay, I understand kind of the light and dark spectrum of life. And people are complicated. And since people are complicated, I fundamentally understand this. And so I don't take things as personally because people are going through a lot of stuff. And that is seen to you at a very, like I said, again, young age. So it becomes just an acceptance of people. Um, Nines can accept people a little bit too much. And so I talk about boundaries a lot with nines because, there's love, and love is unconditional. But if love is unconditional and has a million bajillion, think of the largest number you can, a Googleplex of options, like infinite options, right? Infinite love, then it also includes boundaries because love embodies all things. Okay, so boundaries should never be excluded from the situation regarding love, especially. And this is regarding of, hey, yeah, sure, I think this is the right thing to do, or hey, yeah, sure, I'll help you, but I can only do this much, or if you want my services, then you got to pay me a little extra because I'm putting a lot of time and energy into this. I need you to understand that, you know, I need to make sure that I'm okay as I help you to be okay. So that comes into play a lot. Cycle 6, um, it does deal a lot of times with a very emotional year. Um, you're in a cycle 6, and that's very harmonious with the rest of your numbers, at least your birthday numbers, because we have to look at actually your name numbers too a lot. And so that's a completely other factor. But it lets me know that it's actually like a good year, a better than not year. I would say that this year has produced a lot of healing, a lot of self reflection. And when you're in a 6, you really look into the emotional side of things regarding with those closest around you. And you start to say, like, what kind of life do I really want to cultivate? And I'm going to wave that flag in front of my friends and family. To what degree you kind of learn, right? But you kind of you mention to them, I'm kind of more like this, or I'm going more this direction. So that seed within inside you starts getting vocalized way more. And so that comes out into play. And it's very important because in a cycle 6, if we don't let that seed plant and if we don't let that seed start to blossom, the vocalization and expression of how you're changing and how you seek to really implement these things within your life actively. If that's not externalized, what happens is a lot of energy starts being caught up in the body, and we can have sometimes really physical imbalances. So I always talk about in cycle 6 and in cycle 8, physical imbalances really start perking up because of a lot of emotional and mental energy that needs to be sorted through, externalized, shared, transmuted, and healed. So I actually think it is a good year for you. If you've really been diving into expressing yourself with what you do want, that's different. It might be difficult, but the reason why I say it's a good year and I really stick behind that is because there would have been a lot of change. There is a lot of change. And so it's like, whew, but it feels good. and you're just like, okay, I needed that, and the weight is lifted because of that. So whether that's been actively happening or whether it's been circulating, I definitely encourage you to let the dam flow rather than collecting the should I, shouldn't I, yeah, make it change. Let that emotional energy flow. Okay. So I'm going to pull a card for you, see what comes up. Okay, so you got some great cards. So you got the Archangel Michael card and the Archangel Raphael card, and then you got the Strength card. Okay, and so it's letting me know that when I'm looking at this is that there indeed has been a lot of changes, ready to be ushered in, and it's like the people around you aren't giving you that support system, so you're really pulling that support system from the spiritual realm. And um when the angel cards come in, it's really interesting because sometimes people go, oh, I've really been feeling their presence, I've been working with them, and there's also acknowledgement of, yeah, I've really needed that. I've needed a lot of protection and support. I feel like I haven't been getting that around me. So it could be both, it could be one of two. Um, but I do feel like that, and this is like going back to the past, I do feel like that support hasn't been felt. And so there's been a lot of inner work, forgiveness, and healing currently. And that's the themes that I'm really talking about. So that's what you're in now. So now and going forward, know that you're having a lot of support to release and refresh and really get a lot of like creativity back flourishing in your life. So it's there's going to be a lot of research and reading, and you have to get like the new energy in. And so to get the new energy in, you have to place yourself in environments and read and absorb, and kind of calibrate. Okay, so that's like what's coming in. And so books, absorb. And then going forward, it creates a foundation of strength. It creates a foundation of strength, a contentment, and a resiliency on a whole nother level. So I really feel like going forward, there's like much more of an inner world, even strengthened, and given a lot more freedom and a lot more calm and relaxation of oneself. Um, it feels good. It feels good. It feels like there's a lot of contentment and release coming up. And I keep getting this around like, reading and absorbing information and having these aha moments and having, whether it's like a teacher, it could be on YouTube or whatever, but it's like various teachers coming in and reshaping the belief systems, reshaping perspectives, and you go, yeah, I've always subscribed to that. Great, let's dive in. No one else thinks like that around me, but I subscribe to that. I'm gonna have more freedom in being me, and that's what's coming up. Okay. All right, so who is next? Casey, and then you guys say you want a reading. You can say hi, and I always love a hi. Believe me, I love it. But in order to have a reading, you say, "Hey, I want a reading," and then you tell me general, or you tell me a specific, and that's how we do it. Okay. So Sylvia is next. She wants a general. Okay, cool. So Sylvia, let's see. Okay, cool. I was just seeing if I always look for numbers, if people pop down numbers. Okay. So Sylvia, you got the Revelation card and the Harmony card. Got the Strength card as well. Wow. And then the angels flanking that. I love it. I love it. So what I'm seeing for you, Sylvia, is that there's been a lot of change of we're talking about, again, a lot of change of thought, a lot of, wow, my life can really be like this, because you got the Revelation card, and when the revelation happens, it's like complete change of world views. Okay. And it's like, yes, there's, let's say, resistance to the complete transformation at times, because, we're all smack dab in some kind of transformation. We're all working on something, but you've had the call of, I want my life to be different. I want my life to be better. I really have to infuse some goals into how I'm going to get this done. And so that's been quite difficult, I feel, but that call that you've answered of, okay, it's time to completely change things up. It's being called. So you're in the midst of it. Okay. So you're in the midst of it. So I the harmony of your life, just keep affirming, keep changing, keep looking for clues around you. How can I get into more harmony within my life? And really, it goes into listening to your spirit. Listening to your spirit. So I highly encourage you to, I don't know if you do this, but I highly encourage you to journal or write things down. And it's like you can just tuck it away in a drawer somewhere. And what happens is when you write things down that are meaningful to you, important to you, is you like go, okay, cool. This is me. I don't know how this plays out. I don't know how to create more of this. But what happens is you find it months later and you go, oh yeah, I either did that or I've been wanting to do something about that. And it reminds you what's in your spirit. And so it teaches you that all these random thoughts you have, whether meaningful or why did I think of that, they're coming from your spirit. And you start to learn how to communicate with your spirit, connect to your spirit, build on your spirit, trust your spirit. And so I really highly recommend playing around with that, playing around with your intuition, and starting to learn to listen to yourself more deeply. And so I feel like you've been wanting to expand on this. And so the angels are, the universe, God, I always put that into that category. Yes, they do different things, but I put that into that category so you to think about it. They're encouraging you to open up on the next level. They're encouraging you to do that, to actually feel more strong, feel more certain, feel more harmony, and continue that revelation of living life with more enthusiasm to serve. And I'm saying it like that because it's like sometimes when we have these ideas, we go, well, how am I going to do that? Or is anyone going to listen? Or if I say something that I'm feeling, like, will someone just kind of look at me funny? And it's just like, you have to have the courage. Like, spirit is a fire. Spirit, it's depicted, the holy fire, the holy flame. Spirit is like this courageous fire, and the heart is connected to fire energy. And you blaze with this energy that is not of purely your own, and you ask for help within that. And that extra energy, the extra fervor and passion gets you to where you need to go. It's like this surge of energy, and you go, okay, I'm just going to do it. I don't care. I don't care. Of course you care, but I'm saying I'm not going to be concerned with how it's going to be received, because I'm more concerned that it came to me, and I'm going to have peace and harmony and knowing that it came to me for a reason. And I'm just going to do it. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than me. Even if they kind of look at me funny, it's bigger than me. So that courage of the heart, make sure that I do the next step. That support of something greater than me ensures that that's why I'm doing it. And I start to lift off more and more insecurity of, is this going to work out? Is this truly real? All right. Is this truly something for me? And so the answer is yes. Okay, so that's what's coming up. All right. So then let's see. I get so Stephanie, I'm looking at all the comments. I would love some insight if so led. Okay, cool. I'll pull some cards for you, Stephanie. And general for Jessie Cat. Okay, excellent. And thank you. I did have a great Thanksgiving. I was cooking a lot. I love cooking. I did a really nice charcuterie board, and then I did a shepherd's pie and a macaroni and cheese and asparagus, and it was delicious. So we made like everyone was working together, to help to get the ship to sail, because it's the recipes we have, they're rather complicated. I enjoy it as long as I know this is going to be good. Like I'll hack away at it. But yeah, like for the shepherd's pie and the macaroni and cheese, that was like a 5-hour project. Just constructing everything together. We were like roasting things and making sauces, and the asparagus was really easy. That's not difficult. And then the charcuterie board, you just need to assemble it, and that's easy. I'm talking about food. Apparently I am hungry. Okay, so Stephanie and Jessica, so thank you. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving as well. And yeah, we'll go from there. So Stephanie's next. If so led, I'm open to a message or insight in any formats. Okay, pop down her numbers. Great. So away we'll go with that. Cool. So attitude 4 and personal day 1 and life path 6, I believe. Double check. And so anyone who's wondering about master numbers, I talk about master numbers from time to time, but all master numbers reduce to vibrations 1 through 9. So when I'm doing quick shows like this, where I'm tapping in, I'm looking for the vibration. So whether or not it's a master number or a 1 through 9, it still breaks down to 1 through 9. So some people ask me like, oh, like I'm a 33-6 or I'm an 11-2. And I'm like, oh no, I got you. And so if there's time to go into that further, sometimes we go into that further. So I stick through 1 through 9 for certain reasons like that. Okay. And so you're in a cycle 1, and let me just double check the math. So yes, and yes. Okay, awesome. And so I'm just going to do one more thing for you. And then, okay. There we go. Okay. So we're all set. So what I'm getting is that, so you're an attitude 4. So attitude 4s are very much natural planners. They need to do that to be their true selves. 4s are methodical. They are, and it's good for them. So certain numbers are methodical and certain numbers are spontaneous. So like 4s and 8s and even 7s can be more methodical. And that is how that they are connected to life. They go, I have these abilities to think things through and to be more detailed, and the best parts of myself come out through that, and I feel actually free. And so the other numbers, they feel more spontaneous, and they're like, the best parts come out of myself and I feel free, and this is how I interact with life. So you, with planning, it's actually very important. And if you don't have that element, your life will actually be very scattered. You have a life path 6. And so when people have a life path 6, elements of um, overseen individuals, whether in a way you can serve, whether with family, it deals with a lot of maternal energy. So your life is going to always be at a capacity where family is paramount. And so you can actually create your own families too, like bring your friends into the fold and say, hey, like I treat you like family. You can do that with students, you know. And it's actually very good for some of the life path 6 to step up in the way where they are caring for others. They feel very needed in that capacity naturally, and you'll be very assertive in that capacity. You are a personal day 1. So anytime someone has a personal day 1, it's actually very beneficial if they want to be in some type of leadership capacity, because your energy gives that off so very naturally that if you ever go, hey, I'm thinking about this idea, a lot more people will actually be on board with it than saying like, oh, I don't know about that. And you can't include family because we're born into family. Okay, they don't have the same interests as us as much. It's like friends or people that you meet along the path of life when I say this. Okay. And so you have these beautiful numbers actually to be very like administrative with how that you oversee and help others. And so I really encourage you when I see that to work on like a school of your own, or work on a place where you rent space out of, or even like a Zoom kind of school. Like there needs to be some type of, within your mind, this is an administration, or this is an organization to work with spirit. This is an organization to help others. And you make it very formal. And that's actually very good for your numbers, because the formality ignites responsibility. And so you have a very good numbers to really dig deep within in the name of responsibility when it's regarding family or something where people are counting on you and they're looking to you for guidance. So ignite what actually drives you. Ignite those things, and life will actually flow easier because the things that motivate you are just baked into what you love. Okay. So, but yeah, like with an attitude 4, you do need planning to soar. That is a mantra, apparently, I just created. With attitude 4, you need organization to soar. It's true, though. You're in a cycle 1. So I want to celebrate that for you as well. Last year was rather difficult, but there was a lot of transformation. And with transformation comes like bravery and new horizons. And so you're smack dab within that this year. And with the new opportunities of this year, it invites you into new possibilities. And so it's really exciting. And just because we don't always know what to do with the new possibilities doesn't mean those new possibilities aren't there for us. Okay. So I would really like for you to treat almost like every day as a new year. Every day is a new year, and you wake up and you're like, I have a chance to do so much. Fresh, clean slate, fresh, clean slate. And that's the enthusiasm I want to give to you. Going into next year, it's going to be a much more emotional time. And so you actually have a chance to ripen and mature on a spiritual and emotional level like never before. So it's going to be a little bit difficult, but it's going to be really, really good for you. And you might find yourself having the tenacity going like, okay, I get it. I get it. I've just processed so much stuff. I get it. All right. And like that fighting spirit gets ignited, and it sends you into the next year actually very, very strong. So I just want you to know that there's been so many good stuff that has occurred this year, and you've been a champion. So continue to look at yourself as a champion and a leader and someone who is just really living life to the fullest, and know that that has happened. You have done it, and there's more to continue to come with that. So celebrate yourself. I really want you to celebrate this year. That's what comes in the strongest, celebrating. Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie. Absolutely. Let's pull one card for you and just see what comes up. Apparently this card likes to. Okay, so I got the Freedom card for you. I got the Freedom card for you. And it was about just letting things from the past go. I feel like you've already done that to a large degree. It's just like fully embodying, like, I have done and I am doing amazing things, and knowing that with complete certainty, and letting that be your rocket fuel for saying, this is the life I live now. This is the life I live now. And I really wanted to put in the nurturing, like making space for nurturing yourself will only give you more of the foundation to be like, great, I feel refueled. Time to nurture others on an even deeper capacity. So that's what comes in, a lot of green energy for you. But for the healing energy for you, you think about healing as green, but there's a lot of blue that needs to be happening with you for additional healing. I'm seeing like a lot of light blues, different shades of blue, but that light blue really helps heal and refuel and reignite some of the freedom and the creativity feelings. So I'm encouraging blue for you. Okay, cool. All right, who's next? Right. I know someone was next. Oh, Casey, you're awesome. The comment's hilarious. I love it. Much love to you too. I love you too. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. I know someone was next. I just talked about it too. Sometimes I get lost oh yeah, Jessica. That's right. That's right. I was like, where is it? Where is it? I'm scrolling back up, and then I go down and up and down and up and down. And it's like, whoa. Okay. So a general for Jessie Cat. Cool. All right. Let me pull some of your month's numbers. That's always fun. Probably I've already talked about this, but if anything comes up, great. So you're an attitude 8. We know that. And okay. Cycle of 5. Okay. Okay. One more thing I'm just doing. 10, 9. Oh, okay. So for you, Jessie Cat, what's coming up, and I don't know if we talked about this at now, or now we're emphasizing it. I don't always remember everything, but so just to really allow yourself the tranquility of just stepping away a little bit more this month. I know we're already at the end of the month, but if you can give yourself a little bit more time just to like be with you, whether it's like sitting in the car or sitting in a room that's more quiet. 7 really helps flourish, focus with spiritual truths and really lining things up, so you go, like, I actually feel like I know what I need to be doing, because sometimes we can be overwhelmed. So the 7 needs a break in order to be more perceptive. The 7 needs tranquility in order to have fluidity and flexibility within the mind. So really lean into that. You'll be much more effective if you're like, I just don't have time as much. I wish I could. Actually, you'll be far more effective if you give yourself that. Like, I always say to anyone just going through it, like, if you can give yourself 2 minutes more in a bathroom, like, you could be at work or in your own house. If you literally just give yourself 2 minutes within the bathroom, you could give yourself 5, 10, that'd be cool. No one knows what you're doing in there. Make an excuse, right? People need time within themselves to process things that just you can't process when you sometimes fling open the door and go back out into a world full of others. So encouragement within that. And then for December, what I want to encourage to as well is I like December for you. I do. I actually think it breeds enthusiasm for next year quite well. You have an attitude 8, your month of December is 8. And so it gives you kind of this, how can I put it? Certain months we have more energy than other months, and I like the energy of 8 for you. 8 has this like catch 22. No, 8 doesn't. Why am I saying catch 22? It has this has a polarized nature to it. That's what I'm trying to say. Words, fun, and sometimes things will go incredibly well if someone has a lot of 8s and they're in an 8 month. You have a prominent 8, you're going into an 8 month in December. Or what happens is there's a lot of hard truths that come up. Very helpful hard truths are, but very not fun and very difficult. And immediately they can be like, gosh, this is ugh. But if looked at and dealt with, actually very, very helpful. And it sets you up for going into a great new year with these truths of, wow, I had all these, and I feel like as I'm talking about it, it's connected to work. You have this surge within work, like, okay, it's time for me to do this. I'm going to try to do that. And then you're going to have some like intuition showing you like, actually that's not such a great idea, and that might take some of the wind out of your sails, but you're going to figure out, actually it was a good idea for me to know this now, because going into next year I'm actually really ready to explore this, and so I'm going to do it more efficiently. So next year you have this vibe out of the gate of the one energy. So you're in the one energy, and next year you are in a cycle of 6, and so that's all about embracing change of self, embracing change of those around you and what you stand for, and saying like, okay, I'm ready to work with this and heal this. And it's usually a busier year for most people. Um, and so you got you got a 9 also in your chart, so it helps facilitate the workings of the 6. So I actually think next year is going to be far more busy than last year. And I mean that in a busy sense, especially of more like production, in a way where you're just like, wow, I'm really getting the ball rolling. I'm really getting the ball rolling, and this is starting to make sense. And I am just putting myself out there in the next phase. It's time. It's time. I'm on my path. So you feel much more on the path next year. So that's what I am definitely getting. I'll pull one card for you. All right. So I got the knowledge card, and the knowledge card is great because it's about multiple things within you being stimulated to go, hey, are you ready to turn this into wisdom? You have these pings of, I could do this, I could do that, I could do this, I could do that. So what do I want to grow? And there's been a lot of those pings, and that's still being sorted out and rectified. But next year, a lot of that wisdom starts strengthening of, actually, I don't have to do all these things. I'm going to more do a couple of these things. So you can integrate. And so 9 becomes 3. And then you integrate and 3 becomes 1. And it's not like all those things were wasted. It's just they create pillars for that one thing. So really simplify, empower through what you know you love to do, but like simplify. Okay, that's coming up for next year because it's still being sorted this year. So that is what's coming up. I hope that makes sense. Oh no. Yeah, sometimes we have, that's funny. She's like, the damn trolls today. Sometimes we have people coming in and saying like, oh, like come get a reading, and people do that. So please do not fall for that, anybody, because if they really want to give a reading and they're publicly saying it, they should be putting themselves out publicly, and they should say, hey, like I'm doing this and come find me here. And you don't see that. You say to them, okay, yeah, this is not the time and the place, and they'll try to bait you and try to get you in a box or something. So don't fall for it. Anyway, so let's see. Oh yeah, Sylvia. I'm going down the list really quick. Sylvia is like, I get downloads. I need to trust more and will work more with spirit. Thank you. Oh gosh, thank you so much, Sylvia. I appreciate the compliment. And Jessica, wow, you're going to make me feel hungry. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm good at facilitating the food, and I could make someone feel hungry very easily. I'll just describe how beautiful food is, because it really is. Um let's see. Okay, scrolling down. Okay, I know I haven't had time for myself or meditate, but I'm glad this birthdays are all over. And yeah, you had a lot going on. So just take the end of the month and really just, we think about like giving time to ourselves has to be like this like extraordinary thing sometimes, or like I really have to make space, like, and really plan. And it's just like literally just go in a bathroom, literally just go in your car. And it's just like sometimes we just have to sleep or nap. um People have different avenues with how they kind of go, okay, I feel like I had time for myself, but you have to like just give yourself the additional step. Like, I know people who, when they give themselves the gift of meditation, they just fall asleep. And I think that's great, because what you're doing is you're enacting your brain to say, okay, I give myself permission to relax. And gosh, there has been phenomenal results in people that I have found that relax and go to sleep during healings or meditations. It still works. It literally, like, the subconscious still absorbs what it needs to absorb. But if we're just like blasting awake and we're not doing, we're just kind of like cycling with what's in front of us, we stay in the energy of what's in front of us. So, encouragement. Okay. Cool. And then Stephanie, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Um, Dana, oh gosh, yeah, we're starting. Let me see who's next. Maybe I'll pick Dana. I think is Dana next? Would Dana be next? Let's see. Hello, Angela, by the way. I think Dana is the next person who asked for a reading, actually. Okay. And we'll do a quick one for you, Dana. And then, okay. We had someone else asking for a reading. Thank you so much, Jessie Cat. Sue. Hello, Sue. Sylvia. I know how to get the life path, but do you know how you get the attitude and cycle? So the attitude is just your month plus the day of your birth. So like if you're born on, you know, October 5th, you're going to take 10 plus 5, and your attitude is a 6. So that's how you do it. And then to get your cycle number, you take your attitude number. So if you're October 5th, you take your 6, and then you add it to the current year, the world year. And so we are in a 6 vibration because we are 2022. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. So you take your attitude number. For the example, I'm giving an example of the 6 of the 10-5, plus the world year number, which is a 6. And for an example, the cycle number would be a 3. Okay. And then you can further that with monthly cycles and daily cycles too, as well, to get really fun into things. And then there's also pinnacle numbers, but that's separate. And that's like chunks of cycles, very, very vast chunks of like 25-year cycles about. Chessy Cat. Yeah, I'll try to meditate while asleep. Yeah, like sometimes I just like go to bed early and I just like lay on the pillow and just being in there early. Like, I don't do much, but sometimes I just either fall asleep or just like zone out. I'm just like, wow, I needed this. And I just like always wake up feeling better. Um, because I gave myself a degree of rest where I'm not getting stimulated by lights, technology, other things around. I'm just like in a dark room and I go, okay, this is better. Okay. So Dana, you are the next in order, and we're gonna do a really quick pull for you. And please, yeah, as people come in, if you ever come in, ask for a reading at the top, because we get a couple in the beginning, and then my goodness, towards the end we have like a boatload of people wanting readings, and I would love actually to format it so everyone could get one earlier. So heads up. Okay, Dana, I'm pulling a card for you. Actually, I'm pulling a couple. Okay, so I got the card for working on, and that's forgiveness. Okay, yeah, forgiveness. That is important to look at. And what we're working on is seeing the beauty of the situation. And wow, okay, we're going into working with Archangel Gabriel. So this is great. We've pulled a lot of angel cards today, the archangels, and that's really powerful. And I always love seeing that, because there's only 4 in the whole entire deck, and there's like 50 cards, so that's very cool. So we're really going into the vibration of learning how to heal with the help of Archangel Gabriel. And Archangel Gabriel is all about communication. And so you have to know that if things are circulating inside of you, that they have to be released in one way or another. They could be released through artwork. Communication and expression, they really go hand in hand. And sometimes, like, we don't really want to share things with other people quite yet, and we're still like working through things, but they have to be released out. They have to be released out, and we can communicate with our soul through doing things with writing, art, gardening. Even there has to be some kind of energy where we are enacting with life, and we are releasing what's going on inside of us. And so whatever the activity is, if you can process what's going on in the realm of forgiveness and seeing the beauty within things and really re-engaging and igniting your heart, that's the ticket. And as the communication with oneself evolves, there can be opportunities where safely you get to start to build that dialogue with more than just oneself, because ultimately we're in this life to share. We're in this life to share. And in order for people to eliminate suffering, someone has to see us. Someone has to see us. And that someone is usually ourselves. We have to see ourselves and go, I see you. I'm willing to work past this. I'm willing to grow. And then think about all the organizations around the world. It's because someone stepped up and was like, okay, I'm in a position to see another person, so I have the capacity to help them. And some people have to be in positions to be seen, to be helped. So I'm encouraging that. I'm encouraging the expression and communication to open up that opportunity, and just be really gentle with yourself. This doesn't have to happen overnight. I really, really, a lot of red energy is coming out. Red energy is really good for you right now. The warm tones, to really feel like you're back in your body, and to feel like there's some enthusiasm to try a different way. So I really like this red color for you. The angel in the picture is even holding a red rose, and I keep going back to the energy when I'm looking at it. Ultimately, I'm taken again to this lotus, this beautiful white lotus. So it's about cleansing, blossoming, and really, again, growing. A lotus grows from the mud. It starts off in this muddy environment. It's like a swamp flower. And then it goes into the most gorgeous, gorgeous, like multiple leaves, multiple petals. And it's revered as one of the most spiritual flowers out there, with what it represents, rising and bursting forth beauty. And so that's where the beauty comes from, not putting on what we feel like makes us beautiful, makes us feel like that, but actually going through the experiences to wash away anything that we don't need to feel clear and go, wow, I actually feel okay about this. I actually feel different from this. And that's beauty. Living life and being in the glow and the bravery of the situation. That's beautiful. And it just cultivates that. It radiates that. Okay. So thank you everybody for coming. Wow. How did the clock just jump from 2:15 to 2:19 in like a millisecond for me? That's strange. It happens sometimes. So, thank you so much, Sylvia. And to everyone else who wanted to get on, thank you, like Sue or like Facebook user, some other names. Thank you for everyone for saying hi. We have a show every week, so please come by next week and pop your name and your questions in early, and that's how it's guaranteed to get back to you. Every Fridays in the afternoon, we usually start at 1, and the social media will let you know as well if there's any clues otherwise for that. And then we always have our Wednesday show, our Wednesday interview show, and you will see us next week within that. In the meantime, we got some events going on. So in Tampa Bay with Lisa Williams, if you would like to have a psychic intensive and want to travel and interact in person, there's that going on. Unleash the Psychic Within. And all the details are on Lisa Williams' website. And then we have the Readings Fair coming up with Allison. The details are on Allison Gannon's website too as well. And it's a bunch of different readers, like 30 plus different readers. And it's a huge reading online event if you'd like a reading. Additionally, we have a mediumship gallery coming up with Diet. So things will be posted for that. Come on by if you want an intimate mediumship gallery online again. Thank you everybody for coming, and please, luck, love, and light helps us live. So don't forget to live, everybody. Take care. See you on Wednesday. Bye.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.